739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Conversations on matters health are important for you. From the nitty-gritties of what it takes to take care of yourself on a daily basis to the policies that affect your well-being at a national level, we have all these conversations on one show.
In terms of the nose, we deal with allergies, we deal with sinuses, and even nosebleeding. Simple things and also big things as well.
Make our homes safe spaces where children are able to talk, feel validated without being judged, because the young people want to be heard.
Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, on Focus on Health to keep you abreast of these conversations right here on KUTV.
Every day we find new ways to thrive in an ever-evolving world.
I wouldn't call them challenges, but that's just how the industry is set.
On KUTV Technovation Show, trust us to keep you informed on matters startups to look forward to.
Gaming globally is the largest entertainment medium.
Kenyan businesses are speaking to finance from people who do not understand Kenyan business. And that has meant a lot of really good businesses have not been done.
We have it all. Tune in every Monday, 8:30 p.m. for this and more with me, your host, Yvonne Kemuma.
All right, and the veil has been lifted, and live from the Kenyatta University Communication Center. You're just in time for the weekend, live on this 22nd day of the month of March, the year being 2026. I do hope your weekend is coming along quite fine as we move into this informative session. But first, let's begin it officially.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Emmanuel Kutosi.
Indeed, and with me in the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mwongeli. Of course, we invite you to join us on our social media handles on KUTV_Kenya on the X platform and KUTV Kenya across all other social media platforms. Tell a friend to tell a friend. KUTV is streaming live on KUTV News Kenya. Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki is reshaping his political attack on his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of fueling divisions as he defends the record of Kenya Kwanza administration. Speaking at a political gathering in Meru County, Kindiki also took issue with the use of political labels and nicknames in what appears to be a growing battle for influence in the region. Brian Ouma opens our political files with this report.
The political rivalry between Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua showed no signs of easing as Kindiki used a grassroots leaders meeting in Kinoru Stadium, Meru County, to deliver a fresh broadside against the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Kindiki accused Gachagua of embracing confrontational politics, saying the country's leadership should be focused on development and service delivery rather than political contests that may divide the country.
Ati kiongozi anasema atachaguliwa kwa sababu alipatia rais nickname, ati anamuita Kasongo, akapatia deputy president nickname, akamuita Soprano, ati akapatia sijui nani nickname. My friend, if that is the kind of politics you're bringing, let me tell you, my friend, your days in politics are numbered. I announce to you today, mene tekelu parsin. Your days in politics have been counted.
Kindiki also took issue with the growing use of political labels and nicknames in Mount Kenya political debate, saying leaders should earn public trust through their performance and not through political branding or personal attacks.
Mambo ya nickname ni mambo ya watoto wadogo, sio mambo ya watu wazima. Ni kweli si kweli? Mambo ya nickname tulikuwa tunaitana ma nickname tukiwa lower primary school. Hapo ndio watoto, kwa sababu bado hawajakomaa, sio kwa ubaya, ni vile hawajakomaa. Wanaambia huyu unakaa hivi, unakaa kama sijui nini, wewe sijui nini.
The deputy president further defended the Kenya Kwanza administration 4 years record, describing it as a consequential and transformative. He dismissed the opposition as agendaless, divisive and destructive, urging Kenyans to reject what he termed as empty political rhetoric.
Lakini mahali tunaelekea sasa ni wakati wa kujuana mbichi na mbivu, na wale ambao ni wanaume na wale ambao ni watu fake wanajifanya ati ni mashujaa na ni mtu ya makaratasi, mtu bure anajifanya hapa ni shujaa. Tuonane mundu kwa mundu, face to face, man to man, eyeball to eyeball, face to face, tujue nani kiongozi ni nani mtu bure.
The remarks came as at least 40,000 grassroots leaders from Mount Kenya East converged at Kinoru Stadium, ratifying last weekend's decision by the region's elders to endorse President William Ruto for re-election, while backing Kindiki as his running mate in the 2027 general election.
Rais Ruto aendelea siendelee.
All these comes amid efforts to strengthen political influence in Mount Kenya region between the current deputy president and the former deputy president, with the region emerging as a key indicator of their political fortunes and future ambitions. Brian Ouma, KUTV.
Thank you, Brian Ouma, for that report. Now, for many young people, the road to success is rarely straight. For Richard Mbugua, it began by roasting maize by the roadside in Embu County. But his dream went much further. Through determination, resilience, and hard work, the young entrepreneur managed to complete a university and earn a degree. Now he has returned to the very spot where his journey began, sharing his success with the customers who witnessed his early struggles. Vivian Anyango brings us a story of determination that proves where you start does not have to determine where you finish.
Richard Mbugua roasted maize on Embu streets to manage his academics in university, hiding his maize roasting hustle from classmates. Years later, still in his graduation gown, he returned to the same stand, met by cheering customers and even a cake. Narrating how he managed business and classwork, Richard Mbugua states that his days began at 4 a.m. in order for him to be able to balance work and studies, saying his business paid his rent and was his major source of income.
Namkanga mapema sana ndo niweze kubalance masomo. Namka saa 10 naenda kutafuta mahindi, kama kuna klasi ya saa 1 naenda saa 1 klasi. So huko masomo ni kupanga tu timetable yako. Nikitoka kazi naenda nafanya research kidogo huko library, naenda kwa nyumba. So unaweza kubalance. Rongori ndio nafanya kazi vizuri.
Embu Senator Alexander Mundigi was taken aback by Mbugua's determination, offering to facilitate the computer science graduate in acquiring a passport so that he would be ready for any employment opportunity requiring him to travel abroad.
Kazi ni kazi, na uko na njia ya kwenda kazi manju. Ingine nataka nimalizie, na unjue nataka utafute kazi. Mimi mwenyewe nimejitolea. Mimi nitakulipia next week, nitakulipia pesa ya kutafuta passport.
Cecily Kithaka, businesswoman in Embu Town, who witnessed the young man endure the scorching sun while roasting maize in effort to raise money and remain in school, also expressed her joy at seeing Mbugua graduate.
So bidii yake tumeiona kwa kazi yake yenye anafanya hapa, na pia fanya graduate leo ni kwa sababu alikuwa mtu mwenye anajitolea sana. So I would want to encourage watu wa age yake wale wako shule ikuwe mfano. This a young man who very many young people can emulate, because ameonyesha kwa vitendo, na saa hii tuko hapa tukisherekea. In fact, I am one very happy person today.
Richard says that his campus journey has not been easy throughout, that his maize roasting business became his lifesaver in difficult times.
Imekuwa ngumu, si rahisi. Kwa mkanga asubuhi kusoma wakati wa mtihani, na saa zingine una pesa unahitaji kuja kazi. Haijakuwa rahisi, but cha muhimu huko campus masomo kujisomea utajitahidi, but ukikosa chakula hasa itakuwa challenge. So imekuwa ngumu, but hii kazi imenisaidia, imenishikilia at least kidogo tu, ikanipea hope ya kumaliza shule na hiyo nguvu.
Mbugua's story is not only a reminder that there is dignity in honest work and no shame in starting small, but also an indicator of the extremities of unemployment in a troubled education funding system that prompts young people to go an extra mile to progress in life. Vivian Anyango, KUTV.
Indeed, a story to reckon with and look at, particularly with the young man graduating at the Embu University, the graduation that happened yesterday. And a lot did happen also within those places, with the Cabinet Secretary for Education also noting that the new funding model will be coming on to be able to guide and help more students to be able to achieve higher education at a way that is seamless and also achievable. Something to commend, something to also look out for, with the noting that lack of employment is also part of the things that are prompting young people to venture in various things that may be able to help them to fund their education and move forward. Okay, we move on to matters politics, where former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has hit out at the current Deputy President, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, noting that he is in motion to split the mountain. Let's take a look at this report.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has turned up the political heat in Mount Kenya, aiming at President William Ruto and Deputy President Kithure Kindiki. Speaking at Manyata Market in Embu County, Gachagua accused Ruto of using Kindiki to create a political divide between Mount Kenya East and West, saying the move will only weaken the region's political voice ahead of 2027.
Huyu Kasongo ameambiwa na wataalamu, mambo yako imeharibika. Vile unaweza kurudi ni kama utafaulu kugawanya mulima, ugawe kura ya mulima Kenya itawanyike, utarudi. Ukishindwa kugawanya mulima utaenda nyumbani. Sasa halali anapanga, anatumia soprano na ruko ati wagawanye mulima. Na mimi nataka nikuambie Kasongo, wewe hujui sisi watu ya mulima. Sisi ni watu werevu sana. Sisi hapana wajinga. tunajua nguvu yetu ni umoja wetu, si ndio?
Gachagwa's remarks comes as Kindiki intensifies his own political engagements in Mount Kenya East. Kindiki has backed Ruto 2027 re-election bid, predicting a stronger vote for the president across the region.
Hawati ya kierere wanafanya siasa na kura ikue kama ni lazima ubembeleze wananchi bwana. Mimi na William Ruto tutakuja tubembeleze wananchi, watupigie kura, tuwaeleze, tuwabembeleze, tunyenyekee, tujieleze. Sio kujipiga kifua hapa na mambo ya bure ati lazima unipigie kura. Kwani wewe ni nani?
But Gachagua says the region will not be split, vowing that Mount Kenya East and West will vote as one block against the Kenya Kwanza administration in 2027.
Hapa Runyeje, unasemaje?
He also expanded his definition of Mount Kenya block, bringing together Embu, Mbere, Meru and Tharaka as Mount Kenya East, while identifying the Kikuyu community as Mount Kenya West. He also included Isiolo and Marsabit as Mount Kenya North and the Kamba community as Mount Kenya South.
Let me tell you, Soprano, the Kikuyu people, the Embu people and the Meru people are one people. Tangu zamani, wa Kikuyu, wa Embu, wa Meru, sisi ni kitu kimoja. Na Moi alitugawanya akatukalia miaka 24. Sasa ametuma Soprano hapa na hii mtu anaitwa Roko ambaye kichwa yake ni haina chochote kwa kichwa. Anafikiria sisi ni wajinga. Ate Waembu wachukie Wakikuyu. Wakikuyu na Waembu na Wameru, we are one people.
The Embu tour is part of Gachagwa's wider DCP grassroots mobilization in Mount Kenya, with his political engagements expected to continue ahead of his planned United States diaspora tour. Brian Ouma, KUTV.
Now, the debate over changes in the school calendar is taking a political turn, with the Jubilee Party noting some alterations are concerning, particularly the third term. Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has criticized the proposed changes, warning that frequent adjustments to the education system could undermine the quality of learning. The party says education reforms should be carefully considered to protect learners and ensure stability in the country's education system. Jacinta Haweri with more on this developing debate.
The government's education reforms are facing criticism, with Jubilee Party faulting frequent policy changes, describing the directive as a setback to the education sector. Speaking in Mosiro during the homecoming ceremony of Edward Senteu, who had graduated with a degree in social work, Jubilee Party Secretary General Moitalel Olekenta said the education system should not be subjected to constant changes that could undermine the education system and invite sector corruption.
Elimu, mambo ya kujaribu tena kubadilisha masaa ya watoto kusoma Kenya, hiyo hatuwezi kukubali. Kwani nyinyi mko na akili zaidi kuliko wale ambao wamekuwa huko mbele yenu. Sisi tulisoma tukapitia primary school, tukaenda secondary school, tukaenda high school from 5 and 6, tukaenda university. Na tukakuwa mawakili na watu wengine. Sasa hii masomo ambayo mnabadilisha kila siku ndio muweze kupata pesa ya kuiba, mnafikiri mnatengeneza nje ama mnaharibu? Tunasema masomo iendelee vile ilivyokuwa mbeleni.
On the other hand, Kenta cautioned the Maasai community against what he termed agents of division, saying disunity could undermine their political influence. Kenta further urged residents to elect leaders who could prioritize their interest of the Maasai community and protect their resources.
Kuna mtu atakutugawanya tena, msifikirie kesho tutagawanyika. Sisi kama Maasai tumesema tuko Jubilee na tunasimama na rais wetu ambaye anaitwa Fred Matiang'i, na hatutaki mchezo na mtu yote. Tunataka kukaa na Kenya, lakini hatutaki kunyanyazwa na Wakenya wenzetu. Watu ambao wanahitaji maendeleo, wanahitaji barabara. Nimepitia hapa nikastuka mimi naona watu, na hata nikikaa hapa ninaona helicopter tu zinapita. Serikali ya helicopter, lakini barabara hakuna. Hiyo ni aina gani ya serikali?
The proposed school hours have sparked fresh debate over education reforms as calls intensify for a review of the directive amid concerns over its impact on learning and the sector's overall efficiency. Jacinta Haweri, KUTV.
Live on that report by Jacinta Haweri takes us to our first break right here on KUTV. Don't go too far because in a moment we'll be coming back with more reports. Stay tuned. We talk about the earth, but how well do we really know it? It's a whole planet. We'll explain it.
It's right to say that a proper environment means even better products.
Absolutely. On Earth Check, we move on various topics that touch on this mother planet.
I really enjoy doing these activities with my peers and my organization.
Beekeeping is not just about the bees, it's about our environment and the future of our lives.
It is an open secret that if you don't take care of the environment, then the environment will take care of you.
Judge of the Environment and Land Court.
Looking on various stories and topical issues that affect us, that affect our dear planet. True care begins with understanding.
Na tumepitisha sheria mpya kupitia ile Environmental Management Act. Sasa kwamba wakati unapewa leseni lazima utoe ile inaitwa bond, environmental bond.
My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and join me every Wednesday for Earth Check, where I'll be sure to keep you updated. You're still within the Weekend Live right here on KUTV. Much thanks for you for choosing KUTV to be your informer tonight. Now, as the 2027 general election draws closer, leaders in Bungoma are putting peace and unity at the center of political conversations. They are urging residents to reject politics of violence and division, while encouraging more citizens to register as voters. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula says the ballot remains the most powerful tool Kenyans have to determine the country's future. Sherry Lawar brings us this report, voiced by Akide Kasim.
At Mabanga Farmers Training Center in Bungoma County, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula called for an end to ethnic politics and goonism. Bungoma County Senator David Wafula Wakoli echoed the National Speaker Assembly's sentiments while pushing 2032 succession talks.
Mheshimiwa Rais aliyesema atatuongeza 50 million. I know he's going to add 50 million. Soko kubwa ya soko hapo town inajengwa. Ukienda Chwele inajengwa. Ukienda Naitiri inajengwa. Ukienda Webuye soko inajengwa. Ukienda Cheptononi inajengwa. Ukienda Mateka inajengwa. Kule Mianga palipo wanaenda kuweka reli soko inajengwa. Kweli hata kama tunachukia mtu badiani mbaya, lakini kiatu chake dawa.
Wetangula urged the people of Bungoma to work with him in supporting a second term for President William Ruto while launching political jabs at Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale.
Bungoma hii yetu, watu wetu, takwimu zinaonyesha kwamba tuna watu 1430 wenye wako na vipande na hawajajiandikisha kupiga kura. Tunawaomba, wakati huu Rais Ruto amesema kushika kipande, kwa sababu sisi ni kaunti ya mpaka.
Elsewhere, still on the western front in Kakamega and Kericho counties, Kenya Kwanza political leaders marshaled support for Kenya Kwanza.
Mheshimiwa Ruto amesema mjinga akierevuka mwerevu awe mashakani. Naomba tushikilie Ruto kwa sababu yeye anatulimia barabara ya kutoka Nairobi inakuja mpaka hapa Webuye ikiwa double lane, si 3 huku 3 huku, kutoka Webuye all the way mpaka Malaba. Tuambie Ruto hoye. Ruto ametuwekea mambo ya reli. Mheshimiwa Uhuru alifikisha reli kwa shamba yake. Ile uchungu anasikia ni kwamba wewe Muluya sasa utaona mambo ya biashara. Sasa mambo ya kuombaomba itakwisha.
Led by Farouk Kibet, they took jabs at the opposition while championing Ruto's development track record.
Wale walisema tusikuja hapa Lurambi, washindwe wasishindwe. Tumefika ama hatujafika?
Mimi ningependa kuambia huyo sponsor, sikia na usikie vizuri. Hiyo njama yako ya kupoteza watu tunaijua kutoka mbali. Si ati wewe unapenda jamii ya Mlembe. Kama ungekuwa unapenda jamii ya Mlembe, ungeleta maendeleo hapa wakati wewe ulikuwa rais. Maneno hii ya saa hii unajaribu kupotosha watu na kuleta pesa kusema enda unganisha nyumbani, sijui fanya style gani na gani. Hiyo sio mapenzi. Na ningependa ni advice rafiki zangu wale wengine wote. Wale wanafanya kibarua kwa sponsor, mnawajua ama muwajui? Mimi ningependa kuadvise hao, niwaambie hiyo safari mnaenda ni safari ya kupotea.
Talk of returning political favors also emerged, with the Speaker of the National Assembly being floated as potential candidate for the 2032 presidential election as the government calls the region's support.
Nipe top shota ya Ruto, top shota, top shota, top shota, top shota.
The Western region's significant voter base has attracted increased political attention, with its decision likely to carry considerable influence in determining the outcome of the next election.
Now, with the 2027 general election still months away, political temperatures are already rising, and church leaders in Siaya County are sounding the alarm. The clerics want the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to act firmly against politicians accused of premature campaigns and divisive rhetoric. They warn that unchecked political mobilization could push the country towards instability and risk a repeat of the painful 2007-2008 post-election violence. The church leaders are also urging politicians to keep young people away from political confrontations and give them room to build their future. That is a report from the clerics in Siaya County. Moving forward, President William Ruto is calling on women of faith to uphold values, faith and unity, saying these remain essential in building a stronger nation. Speaking in Machakos County, the president said leadership should ultimately be judged by action rather than words, as he highlighted development projects, including roads and affordable housing. He also challenged Kenyans to believe in themselves, embrace self-reliance, and work together in building a more united country.
Kiongozi anapimwa kwa ile kazi anafanya. Kiongozi apimwi kwa porojo.
All right, it's that time to get sporty. And the Premier League has returned. And Manchester United have already been handed a painful reminder that there are no easy games. Hull City stunned United with a 2-0 victory, making the most of two dangerous set pieces. Ajayi opened the scoring in the 17th minute before Nobel Mendy doubled Hull's advantage 8 minutes before the break. United dominated possession but struggled to create clear chances even after Marcus Rashford returned in the second half. Hull remained disciplined at the back to secure a memorable victory and a dream start to their campaign. In other fixtures played today, Everton got the better of Crystal Palace with a 2-0 win. Ipswich Town and Sunderland. Ipswich was able to beat Sunderland 2-1, and Nottingham Forest was beat by Leeds United 1-0. Brentford United was able to beat up Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 in another fixture played today. All right, 27 minutes past the top of the hour, and it is at this moment that I'm reminded of one of our key stories today, a human interest, particularly of the young Robert from Embu University, who was able to graduate and began from humble beginnings while roasting maize somewhere, and now he has a degree from effort. And the key thing was, where you begin may not necessarily be where you finish. Arsenal, Manchester, anything is possible. We wrap it up for the Weekend Live tonight. Of course, a big thank you to you for choosing KUTV to be your informer tonight, and also the team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast. A big bravo to you for ensuring we have a seamless broadcast. From me, Emmanuel, Kutosi, and Mutava Mongeli on the sign language interpretation. It's good night, sweet dreams. See you on the other side.